morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's old school radio broadcast featuring the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants. It is the third game of the series between these two clubs, as the Giants have had their struggles here in the first couple of games, and there's been some changes, and there's been some transactions over the last, leading into today. 3 changes specifically. The Giants have selected the contract of catcher Andrew Kinzer from the Sacramento River Cats. And in turn, they have optioned second baseman Christian Koss to the same ball club. Giants also selected the contract of outfielder Daniel Johnson. The former original Cleveland Guardian is now been purchased, as he will be joining the club from the River Cats. They've also designated Sam Huff catcher for assignment, as well as the first baseman Lamont Wade Jr. We were kind of speculating that might be the case, as Lamont Wade Jr. has really struggled this season. Unfortunate, because he has had some good years for the Giants, and I think they were probably hoping he would pull out of it, but maybe a little bit too long a wait there for Lamont Wade Jr. And then finally, they signed free agent Dominic Smith, who was with the New York Yankees organization. He is been around the block, has Dominic Smith. He was a New York Met. He also spent time with the Washington Nationals, as well as the Red Sox and Cincinnati Reds, and he will be joining them tonight, and he'll be in the starting lineup for the Giants. Well, we're going to give you first of all, the starting lineup for the visitors from San Diego. Leading off tonight and playing in right field is number 23, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Luis Arias. Hitting third at third base is number 13, Manny Machado. And batting in the cleanup spot and playing center field is Jackson Merrill. Batting fifth at first base is Gavin Sheets. Batting in the sixth spot and playing shortstop is Xander Bogaerts. Batting seventh at second base is Jake Cronenworth. Hitting eighth in left field is number 28, Brandon Lockridge. And batting ninth and doing the catching is Elias Diaz. They're going to be facing Kyle Harrison, who is making his third start of the year. It's his 7th game. They said they were going to stretch him out and put him into the rotation. He is 1-1 on the year. He's worked 14 1/3 innings. He's allowed only 8 hits, 4 runs, all of which have been earned. He has walked 6 and struck out 16, pitching to a 2.51 ERA. Well, that's your lineup for the visitors from San Diego. Now your lineup for the home team, the San Francisco Giants. Leading off and in left field is number 12, Helio Ramos. Batting second in center field is number 51, Jung-Hoo Lee. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 41, Wilmer Flores. Batting fourth at third base is number 26, Matt Chapman. Batting fifth is the recently signed, as we just talked about, first baseman number 7, Dominic Smith. Batting sixth at shortstop is number 2, Willie Adames. And batting in the 7th spot and also promoted, Daniel Johnson. He'll wear 56 tonight. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 14, Patrick Bailey. And batting ninth at second base, number 49, Tyler Fitzgerald. And they will be facing Victoria, British Columbia's Nick Pivetta, who takes to the hill with a 6-2 record. His first year with the Padres has been outstanding. He's worked 6 2/3 innings. He's allowed 45 hits, 20 runs, 19 of which have been earned. He's walked only 18 and struck out 71, pitching to a 2.74 earned run average. Well, those are your starting lineups for the 2 ball clubs here tonight. We look forward to giving you this one here. Our friend Troy is in the house. A hobbyist made it in earlier. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. It is Padres and Giants when we return after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It's the third game of the series. We were on the call on Monday night when the Padres knocked off the Giants 1-0. It was a final in 10 innings, 9 innings of shutout ball by both teams. And then the Padres, in their half of inning number 10, punched a run across the plate. And the Giants were unable to respond in that one. Some fantastic defensive plays by Jose Iglesias, who got the start at third base in that ball game on Monday night. And it was his glove in the 10th inning that was able to preserve the victory for the Giants in that one. Last night, the Tuesday ball game, the Giants the Padres also won again last night, and they did it from behind again. Another 10-inning ball game. They were down 2-0 entering into the ninth inning. They punched a couple of runs across in the ninth, able to get one more across in the 10th, and it was Yuki Matsui who picked up the win. Went to 1-1 last night for the Padres, where Estrada got his second save of the year. And so tonight, well, it's Harrison against Pivetta. Good pitching matchup on our hands as the Giants left-hander is on the hill. He is getting his tune-up tosses in, and we are about ready to get this one underway here in just a moment. Our friend Troy is in the house. Glad to have you with us, Troy. And I know that he has been following our Detroit Tigers, as Troy is a Tiger fan. Off to one of the best starts in all of baseball has been Detroit, and they are leading currently 4-0 over the White Sox, as that game was in the top of the second inning in Chicago. Full slate of games across the deck in the top of the sixth inning. The Diamondbacks right now are no-hitting the Braves 1-0, so stay tuned on that developing story. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Other games, lots of finals around the Major League Baseball today. We'll get you caught up on that as well. So we'll be busy tonight in catch-up mode, letting you know what the final scores were and keeping you in touch with what else is going on. A couple other games will start later. Will be the Twins and Athletics, Mets and Dodgers. So should have lots to report through the evening as well. Well, Harrison has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway, as it's going to be Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Arias, and Manny Machado slated to come to bat here for the Padres in inning number 1. Daniel Johnson, who was with the Cleveland Guardian organization when he got to the big leagues, he hasn't seen big league action really that much. He had one at bat last year for the Baltimore Orioles. Before that, we have to go back to 2021 when he saw 30 games with the Guardians. So he is getting the opportunity to get a second chance, or maybe even a third chance here at the big league level, as he gets to see some action tonight. Just waiting here as there's a door in left field that has come ajar. And now that they've got that secured, we are ready to get this one underway. It is John Bacon behind the plate tonight, and the first pitch is a fastball called for a strike on the outside corner, and we are underway. No balls and one strike to Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis hitting .265 with 13 homers and 28 runs driven in. As there's a fastball up in the zone, he checks his swing, but up goes the right hand to the first base umpire, Will Little, who said he went around, and it's now 0-2. Ryan Willis is the second base umpire, and Lance Barksdale is in the rocking chair at third. As there's a fastball swung on, it is hit into the sixth hole. It gets under the glove of Chapman and away from Willie Adames. Rounding first and heading to second is Tatis, and the throw is not going to be in time, as he's got to get in there safely. He's lost his helmet, and I think he's going to take his sweet time getting up here. The Giants may want to have a look at this one here, as Bob Melvin has put the hand up for the pause, and now he says a no-go. So we'll have to wait and see if they score that as it's definitely a single. The question will be was it a double? That's why Tatis was a little bit shaken up. He got he got the tag right across the face from Tyler Fitzgerald, but he was able to make it in there safely. The tag was not down in time. Throw was in time, but it was missed by probably about a half a dozen inches. So that is going to bring Luis Arias to the plate. Arias batting .283 on the year with 3 homers and 21 RBIs. Padres looking to complete the sweep in San Francisco tonight. There was a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Arias waggling the bat. 3-time batting champion is the left-handed hitting designated hitter of the Padres. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field. Backing up on it is the second baseman, Fitzgerald, and he's there to make the catch as he calls everyone off. That is going to retire Arias for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up Manny Machado. Sounds like we got a little bit of motor action going on. It was a double that was accredited to Tatis, as he was able to get in under the tag there. So we weren't sure if it was a single and possibly that the ball got away from the fielder, or that they would rule it a double, but it is a double. First pitch breaking ball misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Machado. 58 degrees at game time. As the lefty Harrison kicks and delivers a fastball that misses outside, the count now goes to 2-0. Defensively tonight for the Giants from left to right field, Ramos is in left, Lee is in center, Johnson in right. Around the horn from first to third, Dominic Smith at first, Fitzgerald at second, shortstop Adames, and third baseman Chapman. As that fastball misses outside, it's now 3-0 to Machado. With the battery of Harrison and Bailey. So here comes the 3-0 offering as Harrison holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung through and missed. Machado getting the green light at 3-0. And the count now is at 3-1 strike. Again, Harrison holding in the set, now delivers. Fastball misses down. That's going to be ball 4. And Machado's going to get himself a walk. They did have the open base. It's going to bring up the center fielder in Jackson Merrill. Well, for Merrill, he's hitting .323 on the season. He's only played in 34 games. He's got 5 homers and 22 runs driven in. Big important piece in the Padres lineup as there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. There's been whispers that Jackson Merrill could be what Bobby Witt was to the 2023 World Baseball Classic team for the Americans. That would be included in the 2026 version. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and it's going to get over the wall, but it's not going to make it into the cove as there is somebody on the concourse there that is able to take it on the hop before it goes into the water. So Tatis jockeying at second base. There's a fastball in on the hands that's fouled away. Count now goes to 0-2 on Merrill. So no balls, 2 strikes. That pitch was up in the zone. I'm not sure that Merrill would have got to that one regardless. Tough pitch. Here comes the 0-2. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Merrill stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2. So 2 in the books here, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman in Gavin Sheets. Well, for Sheets, he enters the ball game hitting .260. He's got himself 11 homers and 34 runs batted in. And the first pitch breaking ball misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. They are playing Sheets to the pole side in the infield. Everybody is moved to the right. Certainly the shortstop Adames is as far as you can go up the middle. So here comes the 1-0 offering. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the San Diego Padre first baseman. Harrison checks the runner, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball's lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the warning track and looking up, and this ball is off the wall. That's going to get a run in. Tatis is in to score. And heading into third with a triple is going to be Sheets, as 2 runs have crossed the plate. So he's got himself a pair of RBIs, and the Padres right out of the gate here have a pair of runs on the board as Tatis and Machado come in to score. San Diego now ahead here 2-0. And that will leave it up to the shortstop in Xander Bogaerts. Johnson, in a tough way to have to play that one off the wall. He hasn't had a whole lot of experience. Ball ended up coming off the wall, and he had to chase it down as that first pitch misses inside to Bogaerts for a ball. Count is 1-0. Padres are playing good baseball. Giants have been, well, we're playing good baseball really until they went into Detroit and got broomed by the Tigers. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes even at 1-1. Tigers are the best team in baseball right now. They had lost last night to the White Sox, but had won their 40th game. First team in the MLB to get to 40 wins the night before. Yes, here's the offering, and it is a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 2-1 to Bogaerts. Padres with an early 2-0 lead here over the Giants. As the left-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on its tap foul over on the third base side. The count runs even at 2-2. The series will wrap up tomorrow as it'll be a getaway game between these two clubs. Dylan Cease will take to the hill for the Padres. Robbie Ray gets the nod for San Francisco. That goes off at 3:45 Eastern or 12:45 local time. This ball has popped up into shallow right field. It's the Bermuda Triangle that's forming, but it's going to be Daniel Johnson who's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for the Padres in their half of the inning. 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of the first inning. It's the Padres 2 and the Giants coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. It is Old School Radio on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel when we return after this with the Padres and the Giants for your listening pleasure. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Padres and the Giants as we were going to the bottom half of the first. Our friend Steve Rademacher will be bouncing around sometime here through tonight, and we are going to give you his introduction right now.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Jimmy Redbeard poking his head in here. Welcome, Jimmy. Good thing we didn't get up and do that Reds-Brewers game earlier today. It would have been a bit of a downer, at least if you were a Reds fan. It'll be Nick Pivetta on the hill here for the Padres, as he is going to be looking to face the Giants here in their half inning number 1. A really good start to the year for Pivetta. The right-hander 6-2, as we said at the top of the stream. Delivers a first pitch fastball to Helio Ramos. It's taken for a called strike. If he gets calls like that throughout the night, it's going to be a really tough night for the Giants. That pitch looked like it was a little bit up and in to the leadoff hitter of the Giants. There's a fastball swung on his chop softly down the line at third, fielded on the backhand by Machado. It's taken on 1 hop by the first baseman Sheets, and that is going to retire Ramos on a ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Jung-Hoo Lee. So right out of the gate, some pretty good defense there by the third baseman of the Padres, Manny Machado. The games we've seen, there's been some really sparkling defensive plays. We mentioned that Jose Iglesias got the start at third base on Monday night, and he was absolutely money come in the later innings, as there's a first pitch fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to Lee. Lee batting .269, 6 homers and 31 runs driven in, as Pivetta delivers a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Padres from left to right field, Brandon Lockridge is in left, Jackson Merrill in center, Fernando Tatis in right. As the 1-1 pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, lifted into right field. Coming hard is Tatis, and the ball ends up bouncing and gets away from him. Digging hard for second is Lee, and the throw comes in. It's not in time, and Lee is going to get himself at least a single, if not a double. We'll have to wait to see how they scored. I would probably give him a double on that one. It was not ordinary effort by the right fielder Tatis, and the speed of Lee, allowing him to get into second base with 1 out. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Wilmer Flores. We'll wait for the official score, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to say it was probably a double, as the first pitch delivered to Flores is a breaking ball that misses outside for ball. Count is 1-0. Well, I guess they rule it an error on Tatis, so they've got a single for Jung-Hoo Lee and an error on the right fielder. And there is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. So a single and then E9. As I said, a little bit harsh. He was racing in on it, and the ball bounced up and couldn't keep it in front. The ball ended up trickling away because he had his body in front of it. I guess maybe they're thinking he was a shortstop at one point and should have had the play. There's a fastball that misses up to Flores, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting designated hitter of the Giants. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul over on the first base side. Count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Padres are in their road grays tonight with the pinstripes. It's the all whites for the Giants. There's a fastball upstairs, and Flores tried to check his swing, but the home plate umpire, John Bacon, points and says he went around, and that is going to be it for Flores as he's gone for the second out of the inning, unable to hold up his swing, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Matt Chapman. Well, for Chapman, he's hitting .236 on the season, 10 homers and 26 runs driven in. Batting from the right side here against Pivetta. As he kicks and fires a first pitch fastball swung on, it's popped up. It's heading back toward home plate, or toward the area behind home plate. Diaz is going to run out of real estate as he watches that one go into the stands, and the count is 0-1 to Matt Chapman. Chapman is 9 for 20 over his last 6 games. He's got 4 extra base hits in those 9 hits. As he is picking up the pace a little bit here, he's raised his season average to .236. There's a breaking ball that was swung on and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. New look Giant lineup, as we mentioned, with the additions of Dominic Smith and Daniel Johnson tonight. A couple of players DFA'd and 1 sent to the minors. As the right-hander Pivetta holds to the set. And now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short. Fielded on the backhand by Bogaerts. He fires a dart to first. Chapman's going to be retired on a ground out 6-3, and that is going to do it for the Giants here in their half of the first inning. Well, there were no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was also an error, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. Your score is the Padres 2, the Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. The top of the second is just around the corner, and we are glad that you guys can make it in with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this. 2-0 Padres as we move to the top of the second. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat for the Padres in inning number 2. Jake Cronenworth, Brandon Lockridge, and Elias Diaz to face the left-hander Kyle Harrison, who delivers a first pitch for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Cronenworth. Cronenworth hitting .241 on the year with 4 homers and 15 runs driven in. Swings at a fastball and lifts that one foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Cronenworth. Cronenworth, a former University of Michigan alum, as he was both considered a dual when he was drafted. The Tampa Bay Rays originally selected Cronenworth, and they weren't sure if they were going to make him a bullpen arm or a positional player. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains 0-2. He certainly has the arm. He was a plus 95 plus, and he was used as out of the bullpen for the University of Michigan during his time there. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cronenworth. Batting from the left side here against the lefty Harrison. Then the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It is taken on one hop by the shortstop Adames on the backhand side. They had to hurry to get him, and they fire across the diamond. And Cronenworth is going to be retired. That's going to go down as a ground out, 6-3 for the first out of the inning. Bang, bang play. Nice play there by Adames, as he had to go to his backhand to come across the infield to retire Cronenworth. That is going to bring up the left fielder in Brandon Lockridge, who squares to bunt, and he takes a fastball outside for ball. The count is 1-0. Lockridge hitting .219 on the year. No homers and 4 runs driven in, getting the start tonight in left field. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into center field. A soft line drive over the head of the second baseman, Tyler Fitzgerald. And it drops in front of Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's got himself a 1-out single. That'll bring up the catcher in Elias Diaz. Well, for Diaz, hitting .213 on the year, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. We saw him, he got the start the other night. He played the first 7 innings, and then he was substituted for by Martin Maldonado. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Lockridge. You got to keep your eye on Lockridge. He can run a little bit. He does have 7 stolen bases this year and limited duties as the pitch is on the way. There goes the runner, and it is going to be lost by Patrick Bailey on the exchange, and he's going to pick himself up his 8th stolen base of the year as he goes headfirst into second. That is going to put him into scoring position. So the lefty Harrison ready to go again as he kicks, and he does the old spaghetti move, and they've got Lockridge hung up between second and third, and they're going to gun him down. That's some heads-up play there by Harrison. He does the inside move. He does the leg lift, and then he turns. Lockridge was wanting to take the base on him, and he's going to go down caught stealing. That's going to go 1-5 on the putout. He got himself a pretty healthy lead, and nice job. Good reaction there by the pitcher, Harrison, to fire an out over at third. That's going to put 2 in the books, and Diaz takes the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Elias Diaz. Harrison rocking into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, lined over the glove of the shortstop Adames into left field. Now, if he doesn't try to steal third, that's probably going to be an RBI, as they would have probably more than likely challenged the arm of Helio Ramos. So that is going to be a 2-out single off the bat of Diaz, and it'll bring the top of the order in Fernando Tatis Jr. to the plate. I often wonder sometimes why they wouldn't flip Lockridge into the 9 spot and Diaz to bat in the 8 spot. Lockridge, if he got on as he did, he's not going to plug up the base paths like the potential of Elias Diaz would in front of Tatis. There's the 1-0. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Racing over is Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's going to make a sliding catch in front of the warning track. Oh, what a play by Jung-Hoo Lee. That's going to do it here for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Padres are gone in their half of the 2nd. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are through 1.5 in San Francisco. Your score is the Padres 2, the Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this. Giants coming to bat when we return. got a 2-0 scoreline for the Padres as we move to the bottom of the second inning. We'll be back in 30 after this. Welcome back, everybody. Coming to bat for the Giants in their half of inning number one will be Dominic Smith, Willie Adames, and Daniel Johnson. Two of the three players, a new look to the Giants, as the recently acquired Dominic Smith, acquired via a free agent pickup. He had been let go by the New York Yankees. Daniel Johnson promoted from Sacramento earlier today, as that is been, unfortunately, Sam Huff and Lamont Wade Jr. designated for assignment. Not to mention those two players. Also, we had said that Andrew Kinzer has been called up or recalled. The first pitch, fastball from Nick Favetta, catches the inside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Smith. Smith in 693 career MLB games, hitting .246. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1-1 Smith, but his first game in a Giants uniform. He has been with the New York ball clubs, as we mentioned before, but also with Cincinnati, Milwaukee last year. Bounced around a little bit as there's a breaking ball missing up and away, and the count goes to 2-1. And one would have to argue that his best years were in a New York uniform. New York more likely being the Mets, as there is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. 29 years old, he was originally a first-round pick of the Mets, 11th overall in the 2013 draft. And he had broke in 2017 and stayed with the Mets until the 2022 campaign. Pitch on the way, there was a fastball taken for a called third strike, and Smith just started walking back to the dugout. He knew it, and that is going to put him in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the shortstop and Willie Adames. But really, Smith became expendable, as there is a player that we all know, nicknamed the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso, came on the scene. When Dominic Smith played in New York, his best year, he had 11 home runs in the 2021 campaign. He ended up moving on to Washington, and then the suitcase has come out, and he has been moving and has been traveling a lot of different places. That fastball misses up and in. The count is 1-0. I would think at this point in his career, he might be considering maybe going overseas if he can't get himself a regular job. Fastball misses down and away. Count goes to 2-0. He can get himself a serious payday. 2023, he got a chance to play a lot with the Washington organization. He had .254 that year with 12 homers. Did Smith. But Boston and Cincinnati were calling last year, and now he is in a Giant uniform as that fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 2-1. Kind of curious as to how much service time he has. He's got to be approaching the 10-year mark, or at least getting close to it. The early parts of his career, he wasn't full service time, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 3-1 on Adames. You sometimes see that with players. I remember Freddie Galvis went over to Japan, and he had 9 years plus of major league service. Getting to 10 would get you a full pension, and Galvis ended up signing a 2-year deal in Japan, never got to 10 years. Fastball grounded over to short, fielded by Bogarts. He throws to first. That's going to retire Adames on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the right fielder in it, Daniel Johnson. Well, for Johnson, he's again making his season debut. We had talked about him as he had spent the majority of his career with the Cleveland organization. He did get an at-bat with the Orioles. So he is making his first appearance here for the Giants. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs from Pivetta, and the count is 1-0. Also 29 years old, Johnson batting from the left side here. Has 37 big league games of experience, batting an even 200 as the pitch is on the way. Breaking ball drops in, and there's a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Johnson. We didn't go through the defensive alignment for the Padres from left to right field. Lockridge is in left, Merrill in center, and Tatis in right, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Around the horn from first to third, it's Sheets at first, Cronenworth at second. The shortstop is Bogarts with Machado at third, with the battery of Pivetta and Diaz tonight. Here's the offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. The count is going to remain at 1-2 to Daniel Johnson. I've been doing a sporadic amount of MLB games. We're also doing our Japanese games, although it's going to be a little hard to try to squeeze one in here over the next little bit. It is interleague play in Japan. I'm going to try to get to some of that action, possibly tonight, definitely tomorrow. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2 to Johnson. I've been catching some of the games early on, but just haven't been able to stay awake for the entire duration of any of them. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. As Johnson's down on strikes, he's out for the third out of the inning. Third strikeout recorded by Nick Pivetta tonight in this one so far. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board as the Giants go in order in their half of inning number 2. We're going to the top of the third inning. It is the Padres 2 and the Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit with all the action right after these. Welcome back, everybody. It is a 2-0 Padre lead as we move to the top of the third. We'll be back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Padres and the Giants moving to the top of the third inning. Kyle Harrison to face Luis Arias, Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill as the first pitch fastball is taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. 34 pitches through the first 2 innings for Harrison as he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-1 on Arias. Arias batting from the left side. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he popped out to the second baseman his first time up. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Arias. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Arias entered the fray tonight hitting .283 as he's lost a little bit off of his game. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 1-2. As we had mentioned before, he has won 3 batting championships, and certainly Arias is a dangerous hitter at the plate. Not a whole ton of power, but he does make a lot of contact, doesn't strike out a whole lot. In fact, this year he's only struck out 5 times in his 213 at-bats. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. Count goes to 2-2. When I look at his stats, certainly over the course of his career, he has walked more than he strikes out. That is not something that you see in today's game. He would have fit great in the 1980s as there's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. And a youngster from Palo Alto, or a young man from Palo Alto, is going to pull that one in, and then he turns around and gives it to a young lady. Another fastball swung on, and this one fouled away down the left field line. Count remains at 2-2. Arias hit .354 with the Miami Marlins in the 2023 season. Also won a batting championship with the Minnesota Twins as he fouls another one off, and the battle will continue. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Arias. Already 8 pitches in the at-bat as Harrison rocks into the windup and fires. There's another breaking ball swung on and another one lifted foul, and the count remains at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And interestingly enough, the third ball club, or third one at the major league level for Arias, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, it's now going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 10 pitches deep already into the at-bat, making Harrison really, really work. He is a tough out at the best of times. The 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, lined, and a great catch by the first baseman Dominic Smith on the backhand side. Oh boy, that had extra bases written all over it, but Smith with a great job to haul that one in, and Arias is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. That'll bring up the third baseman in Manny Machado. And for Machado, well, he officially doesn't have it at bat tonight. He walked his first time up. The first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. He was brought home on the 2-run triple off the bat of Gavin Sheets as he scored the second Padre run. As the breaking ball swung on, his tap softly to short. Adames fields it on the run. He fires to first. And Machado is gone on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Jackson Merrill. But I got to tell you, that play that Dominic Smith made at first base, that was pretty smooth there by the new Giant first baseman. Backhand side, preventing extra bases there as well. There's a ground ball up the middle. Not sure if it hit off the pitcher Harrison, but Adames ends up losing control of the ball. We're going to have to see what they're going to rule this one as. I think it's going to be an error. The ball looked like, I don't know if it deflected off of Harrison or if it actually maybe hit the top of the pitching rubber. Nope, actually it hit just in front of the pitcher there on the pitcher's mound and ended up getting to Adames, and Adames not able to make the play. That is going to be an error charged to the shortstop, so Merrill is aboard. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Gavin Sheets. The first pitch is a breaking ball that he swings at and misses. He couldn't hold up his swing, so no balls and 1 strike to Sheets. That one at bat there by Arias really ratcheted up the pitch count here for the starter Harrison. As the 1-0 on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul straight behind home plate, and the count goes to 0-2 on Sheets. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the left-hander gets his sign. Here's the pitch to Bailey, and he's the fastball that misses outside. Say pitch to Sheets. He's throwing to Bailey. Bailey working off of one knee as the catcher, even though they've got the runner at first base. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Sheets. One thing I have to say about Kyle Harrison now and watching him pitch, he pitched last year for the Giants, obviously being left-handed. I don't know if, at least tonight in watching him, I don't see him on the regular basis, but he doesn't have a lot of natural run or cut on his pitches. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that just misses up and away, and the count goes even to 2-2. When you think of Landon Roop or you think of Logan Webb, their balls just dance on their way to the plate. They've got all kinds of late life. Harrison, not so much. As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short. Adames fields it. He's going to have to go across the diamond to first. Thought about going to second, but the runner, Merrill, gets down the line pretty good. And he's going to gun down Sheets at first on a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. Well, the Padres, no runs in the inning, no hits. There was an error, and there was one runner left aboard. Your score now, as we move to the bottom of the third inning, it is the Padres 2 and the Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this little timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Patrick Bailey, Tyler Fitzgerald, and the top of the order in Helio Ramos to come to bat here in inning number 3. We'll be right back after this musical timeout with all the action. It is 2-0 for the Padres over the Giants when we return, when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. This game is skipping along as we're moving to the bottom of the third inning. Bailey, Fitzgerald, and Ramos to come to bat here to face Nick Pivetta in inning number 3. Pivetta has enjoyed himself a decent first couple innings as the first pitch breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, right to the glove of Bogaerts, who fires to first, and that is going to retire Bailey. One pitch and one away here, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Tyler Fitzgerald. 29 pitches through the first 2 innings for Pivetta. He has been filling up the zone with strikes, as he has 20 of those have been for strikes. He is now facing Fitzgerald, who's hitting .263 on the year, a couple of homers and 7 RBIs. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that just misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. The Giants have a couple of players who can run in their lineup, as Fitzgerald is one of them with 8. Also, Jung-Hoo Lee and Helio Ramos can get around the base paths. There's a fastball in pretty much the same location, this time taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. On the other side of the coin, the Padres have some players who can run as well. Fernando Tatis in double digits in stolen bases, as is Xander Bogaerts. There is a fastball that just misses down, and the count goes to 2-1 on Fitzgerald. We also mentioned about Brandon Lockridge earlier stealing his 8th base of the year. And Manny Machado also getting around the base paths. He has 7 to his name as there's a fastball swung on, lifted into right center field. Moving over to make the catch is Tatis. There was almost a collision there. Him and Jackson Merrill got to get it together as Tatis was able to haul it in. But almost a collision there between Tatis and the center fielder, but that is going to put 2 in the books there. As Fitzgerald has been retired, it'll bring up the left fielder in Helio Ramos. Ramos tonight 0 for 1. He grounded to third his first time up. As Pivetta kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball missing down and away. The count is 1-0. Last night, the Giants led for 8 innings, and it wasn't until the 9th where the Padres erupted with a pair of runs, then attacked one on for good measure in the 10th to win it 3-2. Also won the first game of the series 1-0. So the Giants have not been playing in the lead here very much in this series, as that breaking ball has missed down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Ramos. So 2 balls and no strikes. Pivetta working himself into the windup delivers a fastball that's center cut for a called strike. That was at 95. That was one of the faster pitches we've seen from Pivetta tonight. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and It's lifted into right center field. This time there won't be a collision, as over underneath it is Tatis. He's there to make the catch. And that will do it here for the Giants as they go quietly in their half of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. A third of the game is in the books. It is the Padres 2, the Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit after this little timeout. It is Padres and Giants when we return. Here is our friend Matt.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. You got to have an ace in the hole, and that is Matt Hollis. We'll be right back after this.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, and Brandon Lockridge to come to bat here for the Padres in inning number 4. Bogaerts, Cronenworth, and Lockridge, as they will be facing Kyle Harrison, who will come back out for his 4th inning of work. And the first pitch from the lefty is a fastball that misses outside for a ball. I wonder what the leash on Harrison's going to be tonight. I wonder if they'll take him much more beyond 80 or 85 pitches in this one. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, the count now goes to 1-1 on Bogaerts. I say that because they had talked about stretching him out as a starter now, and there's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count now 1-2 on the Padres shortstop. Sometimes when they do that, usually it's about 15 pitches per outing. I don't know what Harrison's max would be. Is what they would look for these days. There's a fastball at 94 that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2. Has a very quick delivery, does the left-hander, and the ball just gets up in a hurry. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, it is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Johnson, and that is going to retire Bogaerts for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the second baseman in Jake Cronenworth. Well, for Cronenworth, he's 0 for 1. He had grounded to short his first time up. As he steps in here, ready to face the lefty for the second time tonight. The first pitch is a fastball that misses up for ball 1-0. Cronenworth entered the ball game hitting .241. He's got 4 homers and 15 RBIs as the pitch on the way. Fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Cronenworth again steps in and gets himself settled in the batter's box, and here's the pitch from Harrison. A fastball that is swung on and fouled away. Count now goes to 1-2, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a fastball from Harrison that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. Or check that, 2-2. So 2-2 to Cronenworth as the lefty fires. Fastball just misses outside. I got to tell you, the umpiring in this series, we didn't see the game with Lance Barksdale last night, but we saw the Ryan Willis or sorry, I should say Will Little in game one. No, it was Ryan Willis in game one, and it was John Bacon last night. Well, we didn't see Bacon, but I can tell you this much. Let me go back to this. Bacon is the umpire tonight, and we've seen enough of Bacon already. We saw Ryan Willis the other night, and he was shaky at times as that pitch is fouled away and the count is 3-2. I'd like to see after the game how many calls that he's missed, as there's a fastball that is lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. If you ever get a chance to go on Twitter, they have the umpire report card. After each game, they've got the stats and they post it up. I got to say that it would probably not be favorable tonight. There's a slow grounding ball to second. They're going to have to hurry. And they flip to first, and they say it's not going to be in time, as that's going to be safe. It was an underhand flip from the second baseman, Tyler Fitzgerald. And again, they go to Bob Melvin, and again, Bob Melvin is going to decline the replay. They must have saw pretty quickly that Cronenworth got down the line and beat it out. We'll get the look at the replay on that, and absolutely for sure. So he is aboard with a one-out single. That brings Brandon Lockridge to the plate, who's 1 for 1 tonight. And the first pitch from Harrison is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Lockridge singled, stole second, but he was caught stealing, trying to take third. As the lefty Harrison holds to the set. And now he kicks and fires, squaring to bunt was Lockridge, and he fouls it right off into the catcher, Patrick Bailey. And the count goes even to 1-1. As Bailey gets up gingerly. That is a tough position to play. If you're a catcher, you got to have some stones. That ball was fouled off right into the right quadricep, where there's absolutely no protection. That's the catcher's working off of one knee. I'd be curious, one thing that I would like to know is that how the catchers have been hit working off of one knee over the last couple of years versus when they haven't been. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. In other words, some of the injuries or some of the balls where they've been struck, would they cause a little bit more damage to the catchers? Do they put guys out more often than not? That'd be interesting to note. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. If anybody decides to do that as a graphic or a stat, I'd be curious in that for sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the lefty works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Fitzgerald. Goes to second for 1 and over to first. It's not going to be in time. So Lockridge is going to reach on the fielder's choice. That is going to retire Cronenworth at second, 4-6. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Safe at first is Lockridge, and it's going to leave it up to the catcher, Elias Diaz. Nice play there up the middle by the second baseman, Tyler Fitzgerald, flipping it over to Adames, but not able to make the play. This brings Elias Diaz to the plate as he swings through a first pitch fastball, and the count is 0-1. Diaz singled his first time up. I'd say keep your eye here on Lockridge. As we noted before, he likes to run. And the 0-1 on the way. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. I'm sure the conversation with Elias Diaz and the home plate umpire could be very interesting in that next half inning. We've been talking about how the calls haven't been necessarily going in the favor of the pitchers. Well, that was certainly one for Kyle Harrison, as he got more than just the outside corner. Here comes the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2 on Diaz. My guess would be is that it would be probably one more inning for Harrison, and then they would be shuffling to the pen. He has really had to work here. As the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called third strike. Diaz, he stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it. Padres leave 1 here. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 4, and your score is the Padres 2 and the Giants. No score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action after this timeout. We got a 2-0 ball game for the Padres as we are slipping ourselves into the bottom half of inning number 4. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. Check him out when you get a chance.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Jung-Hoo Lee, Wilmer Flores, and Matt Chapman to come to bat here for the Giants in inning number 4, as they'll be facing Nick Pivetta here as he goes through the order for the second time. Pivetta only at 38 pitches through his first 3 innings of work, as there's a breaking ball that misses up to Lee, and the count is 1-0. Lee has the only hit off of Pivetta tonight for the Giants. It was a single, and he ended up at second base after the error by Fernando Tatis Jr., as that ball was ripped foul, and it is now 1 ball and 1 strike to Lee. The ball dude down the right field line almost got decapitated on that one hopper. There's a fastball swung on, popped up into center field. Underneath it is Merrill, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Lee for the first out of the inning. For those of you who don't know or don't always watch the Giants games, they have these old, mostly men, but sometimes women, that are senior citizens that will be down the line. They've got their helmets on. Probably need more than a helmet. Might need a mask or whatever else. But that ball was ripped down the line, foul by Jung-Hoo Lee, and it came right up on that fella. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. That would have been a really unfortunate situation as the ball took a wicked hop. So no balls and 1 strike. As Pivetta kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on, grounded softly to short. Bogarts fields it, fires to first, and that's going to retire Flores on a ground out 6-3. So Pivetta so far hardly breaking a sweat in this one, as there's 2 retired here in the 4th. It's going to bring up Matt Chapman to the plate. We had a couple of errors in this one. We're going to have to go back and take a look. It looks like the Jackson Merrill, I'm not so sure about that. It shows that there was only, when Jackson Merrill reached base, that there may have been an error charged to the Giants. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into right. Drifting over to his right to make the catch is the right fielder Tatis Jr., and that is going to do it as the Giants go really quietly in their half of the 4th inning. I think it's the error by Tatis that has come off the board. We'll have to take a look at that when we return. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now through 4 complete in San Francisco. It is the Padres 2, the Giants no score. We're going to get you updated on that scoring detail when we come back after this little timeout. It is 2-0 for the Padres when we return. You could take an error off the board for Fernando Tatis Jr. It was a double for Jung-Hoo Lee back in the 1st. That is a scoring change. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. It is 2-0 Padres over the Giants as we move to the top half of inning number 5. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order to come to bat for the Padres here against Kyle Harrison. And the first pitch to Fernando Tatis Jr. is a fastball that misses up and away for a ball. The count is 1-0. Tatis 1 for 2 today. He had doubled in the first and flew out in the second. He's also scored one of the 2 Padre runs, as there is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-1 on Fernando Tatis Jr. They do have action up in the bullpen as Sean Higeli is up and throwing. The 6'10" right-hander was recalled the other day as there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Fernando Tatis Jr. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Be a different look. You go from a smaller lefty to a huge righty as there's a ball grounded over to third, fielded by Chapman on the run. He fires to first, and Tatis is going to beat it out down the line. The speed of Tatis, he's going to get himself an infield single. And so that's been a couple of times tonight, actually 3 times tonight. The balls weren't hit particularly hard, but Tatis able to get down the line with a second hit of the ball game. He's got himself the leadoff single. Boy, did he get down the line in a hurry. That brings up Luis Arias, and Arias drags a bunt down the first base line, and this is going to be trouble, and he's going to beat it out. It was a drag bunt. That was excellent baseball. You got to give the props to the Padres on this one. Dragging it down the first base line, and that is going to advance Tatis over to second base. They were not able to come up with the play. The second baseman, Fitzgerald, way too far to the bag at second. The first baseman, Dominic Smith, had to come off and play it, but he had nobody to throw it to. That'll be an infield single for Arias, and that's going to bring up Manny Machado to the plate with a couple of ducks on the pond. So the runner, Tatis, is at second. Arias at first. Nobody out here in the 5th inning. Machado stepping to the dish. Machado officially 0 for 1 tonight. He'd walked and scored a run in the 1st inning. And now time has been called, as it's not been set. Machado did not have the eyes on the pitcher, so there was no official timeout delivered there. So here comes the first offering from Harrison as he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that just misses down. Boy, I think if Bailey squeezes that one, that might have been a strike. 1 ball and no strikes to Machado. Machado batting from the right side as the lefty holds to the set. Now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. Pretty much the same location. Patrick Bailey not doing favors to his starter here in this one. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the lefty holds to the set. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, and it's fouled off over on the first base side of home plate. And the count goes to 1-2 on Machado. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Padres looking to add to their lead here. 2 runs in the 1st inning. They've got something brewing here in the top of the 5th. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. And Machado's in the books. That's a clutch strikeout there by the lefty Harrison. So Machado gone for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the center fielder in Jackson Merrill. And by our counts tonight, if we are right on the money, that would be the 3rd strikeout recorded by Harrison. As Merrill steps in here ready to face the lefty, and there's a first pitch fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it is. That's going to slice off the wall. Rounding second and heading into third is Arias, and that's going to be a double for Merrill. It's going to bring home Tatis with the 3rd run of the ball game. And the Padres have extended their lead to 3-0 over the Giants. And they are not out of the woods yet, are the Giants, as it's runners at second and third with 1 gone. The speed of Tatis, boy, he can really get around the base paths. Certainly to set up this inning here, how quickly he got down the line. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded off the back of Harrison into right field. That's going to score Arias. They're wheeling around Merrill, and he's going to score. And that's going to be 2 more on the board here for the Padres. A bit of an unfortunate bounce as the ball pinballed off of Harrison. They're going to come out with the trainer and Bob Melvin I would have to think this is probably going to be the end of the line anyways for the left-hander. He delivered the pitch, and as he finished, he had turned his back towards the hitter. And the ball came right back, hit him in the small of the back, and deflected through the 4-hole into right field. So it would be a single for Sheets. He's going to get a couple more RBIs. That gives him 4 on the evening, as both Arias and Merrill will come in to score. And that is going to be the end of the night for Kyle Harrison. Well, hang with us, everybody. It's been a interesting ball game here so far. 3 runs in the inning for the Padres as they've extended their lead to 5-0. We'll be right back after this. And our friend Matt Hollis, who is a San Diego fan, will be happy about this one. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 6'11" right-hander Sean Jelly coming in relief, the 28-year-old making his first appearance of the 2025 campaign. He has appeared in parts of 3 seasons for the Giants. He has a career 6-7 record with a 4.81 ERA in 81 games. He does strike out 1 per inning, as he's got 134 and 134 and 2/3 innings pitched. So he will take over here for the starter, Kyle Harrison. So Sean Hajeli on in relief. And I was saying earlier and speculating when he was warming up in the pen how that might look differently. You've got yourself a smallish or a smaller left-hander on the mound, and then they bring in the big right-hander to pitch. Just the arm angle and how everything will look totally different. As the first pitch is a fastball, it's taken for a called strike to Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts 0 for 2 tonight. He has lined to right and flown to right in his 2 trips. Averages dipped to 239 on the year. As the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. I remember Chris Young when he pitched for the Kansas City Royals a number of years ago, the current general manager of the Texas Rangers. He stood at 6'10", and his arm action certainly played havoc with a lot of the players that he would face. As that breaking ball misses down, it's now 1-2. And he wasn't particularly overpowering. I saw him pitch in Seattle in the end of his career, and he was sitting at 85, 86 miles an hour, but just his presence at 6'10" made it very difficult to be able to hit. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on, grounded right in front of the plate. Bailey fields it. His only play is going to be to first. That's like a swinging bunt. It's going to go into the books as a ground out, 2-3 for the second out of the inning. Safe at second will be Sheets. That's going to leave it up to the second baseman in Jake Cronenworth. Our friend All Rails is in the house. Tim, welcome. We're doing pretty good. As Cronenworth will step to the dish. He's 1 for 2 tonight. I watched a bit of the Bay Stars and the Eagles last night. I know our friend Tim likes his Bay Stars, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I actually clicked it off at 3-0. Wasn't able to stay up and do any of the action. We're hoping that maybe tomorrow night it'll be a Trevor Bauer feature when the Bay Stars play again. There's a first pitch fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Cronenworth. Cronenworth has a single in 2 trips today. He's also grounded to short. As the right-hander holds to the set, he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that catches the inside corner, and count goes to 1-1. I have to tell you, Hajeli here has got a lot of arm side run on his pitch. Unlike Harrison, whose ball is straight as an arrow, Jelly's ball moves quite a bit. as the 1-1 pitch is on the way. And he delivers. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1. Tim says the Bay Stars had the bases loaded in the top of the ninth and couldn't push the rest across. Andre Jackson, the former Los Angeles Dodger, was the starter in that one last night. As there's a breaking ball missing upstairs, it's now 3-1 to Cronenworth. He's had himself a really good season over there, and I wonder if he can put together a good, solid campaign, if he would be a bounce-back candidate. Got to think there are teams in Major League Baseball that could use a starter. Breaking ball misses down. Cronenworth tries to hold up his swing, but he couldn't do it. That's going to run the count full to 3-2. Tim also says that Andre made an amazing play. I know tonight Anthony Kay, the former Cub Blue Jay Met, will take to the hill. I've enjoyed watching him pitch this year. He's having a really good year. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. Cronenworth's going to get himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to leave it all up to the left fielder in Brandon Lockridge. Well, for Lockridge, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He has reached on a fielder's choice. He has singled. He has stolen a base and was caught stealing. All Rail says Padres scored 5 runs in this game. Yeah, and 3 of them in this inning alone, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Lockridge. Padres winners of 2 straight. Won the first game 1-0 on Monday in extra innings. And last night, they scored all their runs after the 9th inning. 2 in the 9th to tie it and 1 in the 10th to win it. As a breaking ball is swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. And you knew changes had to be coming with the Giants because of the play of some of their players. They obviously let go of Lamont Wade Jr., as did Sam Huff get designated for assignment. The 0-2 is on the way, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. They're going to apply the tag to Lockridge as he walks back to the dugout, and he's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Padres have done some damage here in the 5th. 3 San Diego runs on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Halfway through this one, as we are going to the bottom of the 5th, your score is the Padres 5, Giants no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes after this with all the action. It is Padres and Giants when we return.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Dominic Smith, Willie Adames, and Daniel Johnson to come to bat. Giants, there's a graphic that was up that the fewest players used in Major League Baseball right now is the Phillies. They've used 33 players this season, whereas the Giants, before that, entering the game, had only used 31, but 3 players making their Giants debut tonight. And one of them here is Dominic Smith, who takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Breaking ball swung on, tapped softly over to third, fielded by the third baseman Machado, who fires to first. That's going to get Dominic Smith. They had Machado really moved over into the 6 hole. And that's going to be a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. bring up the shortstop and Willie Adames. They had the shift on as far as you could go with the shortstop Bogarts almost over the bag at second. They had stuck the second baseman Cronenworth right into the 4-hole. So that allowed them to be able to make the play. There was a first pitch fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Adames. Pivetta at 47 pitches. He only threw 44 through 4. He has been very effective tonight. He is in search of his 7th victory of the year. There's a fastball at the knees for called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. All Rails says that Machado was one of his favorite players of all time growing up. He was drafted that particular year. There's a fastball that misses up and in. One of our shortstops was taken in that same draft. I think if I remember right, the Orioles, that was when they used to go 50 rounds. Orioles took like 8 shortstops or 9 shortstops in that draft. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. There was an area scout with the Baltimore organization said, well, why did you take so many shortstops? And they were like, we just need somebody to be able to stop a ball on the left side. They had a lot of problems, certainly with Machado as a shortstop being drafted out of high school. Slowed down by the knee injury. There's a breaking ball that just misses, and the count now goes full to Adames. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. But another player who was actually drafted as a shortstop in that exact same draft was Michael Givens, who ended up having a couple of time All-Star as a reliever. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Adames is down on strikes. That would be your conventional makeup call right there. I thought the pitch at 2-2 should have been strike 3. And now that is going to retire Adames for the second out, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Daniel Johnson. All Rails says, I really liked when he played in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Yeah, Machado has a lot of flair. Fastball misses outside. The count's 1-0. When you're in San Diego, you're not really, I don't think you're as appreciated as you are in other parts of the country. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes to 2-0. Padres don't maybe get the recognition they should deserve. So 2 balls and no strikes to the left-handed hitting right fielder of the Giants as Johnson's waggling his bat. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball taken for a called strike. That was center cut right at the waist. So 2-1 it is. 5-0 Padres in the lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. Lifted into shallow center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Daniel Johnson's going to be aboard. That's his first hit in a Giant uniform. So he's got himself a 2-out single. It's going to leave it up to the catcher in Patrick Bailey. Well, for Bailey, he is 0 for 1 in this one. He is grounded to short his only trip to the plate. If the Padres want to get back in this one, they're going to have to start putting up some runs here. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. A 5-run lead as you get later in the game is going to be more difficult to claw back from. I would expect Pivetta could go deep into this one. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. By our count tonight, Pivetta has 4 strikeouts recorded as he's ahead in the count here at 0-2 to Bailey. Right-hander holds himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down, and the runner, Johnson, is going to get himself a stolen base. So also a first of the season for him. He gets his first hit and a first stolen base as Diaz had to pick that one out of the dirt. And he did not come up and throw. I don't know if he had a great grip on that one or not. So Johnson, the runner at second. It's a 1-2 count here to Bailey. As Pivetta delivers again, there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted in deep right field. This ball, it could be trouble. Moving back is Tatis, and it's going to get over his head and off the wall. Rounding first and heading to second is Bailey as he cruises in with a double. That's going to cash in Daniel Johnson. So the stolen base comes up big, and the Giants get on the board here for the first time tonight. The RBI double off the bat of Bailey, and sure, he needed that too. So that is going to bring home the first Giant run. It'll bring up the second baseman in Tyler Fitzgerald. Tim says, do you have any favorite MLB teams? There's only one team that we root for on this channel, and that would be the Tigers. They happen to be playing some pretty good ball right now. So that brings Fitzgerald to the plate, and the first pitch is bunted, and it's popped up behind home plate, and unable to get it is Diaz. He had to spin around it. He wasn't able to come up with it, as that ball is going to land foul. It's going to be 0-1 here to Fitzgerald. So no balls and one strike. Bailey, the runner at second, 2 gone here. Giants got to run across the board to cut the lead to 5-1. It looked like he was wanting to bunt his way on as a base hit here with 2 outs. That was interesting. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the first base line. It's playable, and it is going to be caught by Gavin Sheets, and that is going to do it. Fitzgerald's going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning, but the Giants get a run back here in the 5th inning with 2 out. A single by Johnson and a double by Bailey has cut the lead to 5-1. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 5 complete. Your score is the Padres have 5, and the Giants 1. We'll be back in a minute, and we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard when we return after this. 5-1 when we return. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as we are moving to the 6th inning here in this one. Lots of finals around MLB today. There were a lot of early games. The Colorado Rockies, all of a sudden, the surging Colorado Rockies have won their 3rd straight as they took care of the Marlins today, 3-2, 3-6-1 for the Rocks, 2-5-0 for the Marlins. Kyle Freeland gets his first win of the year against 8 losses. It is Cal Quantrill taking the loss. He goes to 3-6. It was Kinley getting his 2nd save of the year. Brewers knocked off the Reds 9-1 today, 9-13-0 for the Brew Crew, 1-4-1 for Cincinnati. Priester gets the win. He goes to 3-2. Andrew Abbott suffers his first loss. He is 5-1. Red Sox took care of the Angels 11-9 today at Fenway. Criswell gets the win in relief. He's 1-0. And it is Burke who takes the loss. He drops to 4-1. Astros lose on the road to Pittsburgh. Burrows gets the win. He's 1-1. Gusto the loss. He's 3-3. And Bednar with the save, his 7th of the year. We'll give you more of those updates in just a bit as the first pitch is swung on by Elias Diaz into shallow left center field. Coming in on it is Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's there to make the catch, and Diaz is going to be retired for the 1st out of the inning. So 1 gone, and that will bring up the top of the order in Fernando Tatis Jr. Looks like the White Sox have tied the Tigers now in Chicago, as our friend Tim had pointed out. First pitch delivered to Tatis is a fastball that misses outside. Tatis had squared to bunt, but he had to pull that one back. So 1 ball and no strikes. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Tatis Jr. Fernando Tatis 2 for 3 today. He has singled, he's doubled, he's scored a pair of runs. As the right-hander Jelly delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and it's fouled right off the mask of the home plate umpire, John Bacon. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Bacon says he's all right. All Reynolds says the Bay Stars were on a hot streak before last night. Yeah, they've moved themselves into 2nd place in that Central in the Japanese League. As there's a fastball swung on it, is popped up on the right side. Underneath it is Fitzgerald. He's calling everybody off. He's there to make the catch. And Tatis is going to be retired for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and it's going to bring up Luis Arias. Well, for Arias, he is 1 for 3. He had a bunt base hit single his last time up and came around to score off of the extra base hit by Gavin Sheets. He takes a first pitch fastball down for a ball. Count is 1-0. Arias batting from the left side here as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded to short, fielded by Adames moving to his left. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Arias. It's a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we are now moving to the bottom of the sixth inning, it is a 5-1 lead for the Padres over the Giants. We'll be back in just a little bit, and we'll continue chatting with our chat. We appreciate Tim for popping in and everybody else who stopped through tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this timeout. We'll complete the rest of the look around the Major League scoreboard as it is other finals. And tonight here, the Nationals beat the Cubs today 2-0 behind Mackenzie Gore. It was 2-4-0 for the Nats, 0-5-0 for the Cubs. Gore gets his third win of the year against 5 losses. Matthew Boyd, he drops to 5-3 for the Cubs. Finnegan gets his 17th save for the Nats. Nats are just 3 games below the 500 mark. Guardians in New York knocked off the Yankees 4-0 today, 4-12-1 for the Guards. It was 5-0 for the Yanks. Ortiz gets the win. Schmidt takes the loss in that one. Blue Jays hung on to win against the Phillies 2-1. It was 2-5-0 for the Blue Jays, a 1-5-0 for the Phillies. The Jays got a run in the bottom of the ninth inning off of their former closer, Jordan Romano. Hoffman gets the win. He goes to 5-2. Romano the loss. He's 0-2. Other 2 games that are finals. Diamondbacks held on to beat the Braves 2-1 behind Merrill Kelly, who had a no-hitter into the 6th. First pitch breaking ball to Helio Ramos swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. We'll get that other final for you in just a moment here as the pitch on the way from Pivetta as a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up behind home plate. Diaz giving chase. He's right to the netting, but it is going to fall into the first row, and it's going to run the count to 0-2 on Ramos. The other final is the Tampa Bay Rays knocking off the Texas Rangers 5-4. Shane Baz gets his 5th win of the year against 3 defeats. Kumar Rocker takes the loss in that one. He's 1-4. Pete Fairbanks with his 11th save of the campaign. Those are all the finals around the MLB. As the breaking ball misses down and away, they appeal to the first base umpire, and up goes the right hand of Will Little, and that is going to retire Ramos. He's going to go down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Another strikeout in the books here for Nick Pivetta. That is number 5. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Jung-Hoo Lee. Well, Lee is 1 for 2 tonight. He doubled in the first inning, and he flew out to center in the 4th. The right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball at 93 that misses outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. Joe Mansman in the house tonight. And Tim says he dropped a like for us. That's great. We appreciate that. It's been a quiet night in here tonight. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Joe Mansman, who is a Mets fan, said, good thing that the Mets didn't get Rocker. I think there's a lot in Rocker, to be honest with you. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 2-1. I wonder if he's going to end up being better served out of the bullpen, but maybe you get him around a couple of veterans. I know that Jack Leiter had a very sluggish start to his big league career. As there's a fastball swung on, lifted into left field. Coming hard is Lockridge. He goes a dive, and he's not going to be able to make the play. And rounding first and heading into second is Jung-Hoo Lee. It's the second double he's had tonight. Both of them have been rather favorable for the Korean center fielder First one, it was a ball that had dropped in front of Fernando Tatis that he ended up knocking away. And this one, Brandon Lockridge dove for the ball, and it ended up coming off his glove, his wrist, and then his face. Unable to come up with the play there. So Lee on at second with one gone, and it's going to bring Wilmer Flores to the plate. As the pitcher Pivetta holds to the set, now delivers. Breaking ball just misses a little low, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And definitely the New York Mets, who did take Kumar Rocker, and he wasn't able to sign with them. There were some shenanigans that were going on there. They thought there was some issues, as there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Flores. Flores 0 for 2 tonight, grounded out and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. As Pivetta holds to the set position, he checks the runner and now delivers. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the left side. Underneath it is Machado. He's calling everybody off. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire retire Flores for the second out of the inning. Lee is going to remain at second, and that'll bring up the third baseman and Matt Chapman. A friend, Al Rails, says he went to Chicago to see a Padres and Cubs game. Everybody booed Tatis. As there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track is Lockridge. He leaps, and it's going to be off the top of the wall, and it's going to be gone. A home run for Matt Chapman, as that is going to cut the lead now to 5-3 here in the 6th. That was definitely a wall scraper, as it looks like it just got over top of the wall, hit the rail. And that is going to bring Jung-Hoo Lee home, and it brings Chapman all the way around the bases with his 11th homer of the year. A 2-run shot off the bat of Matt Chapman, and that'll bring up the first baseman and Dominic Smith. Just back to All Rails' comment. He was talking about going to Chicago to see Fernando Tatis play. Tatis was originally in the White Sox organization. He was traded, if I'm not mistaken, for James Shields. There's a fastball swung on and is lifted into straightaway center field. Underneath it is Merrill. He's going to be there to make the catch. That is going to do it. Well, we got a ball game all of a sudden. The 1 run in the 5th and now 2 here in the 6th by the Giants have cut the lead to 5-3. 2 runs in the inning on the home run by Matt Chapman on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the back third of the ball game. Your score is the Padres 5 and the Giants 3. Stick around, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic finish when we return after this. We got ourselves a 5-3 ball game. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher to keep you entertained.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to cans of soup to ravioli to sport card packs like you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open, and I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel. Tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles, too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in the funny pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean Hedgelli on for another inning of work, and he delivers a first pitch breaking ball to Manny Machado. It's swung on and lifted to center, and coming underneath it is Jung Hoo Lee to make the catch. And now with one pitch, we have one away here to start the seventh. That'll bring up the center fielder in Jackson Merrill. Our friend Tim says that he remembered Matt Chapman when he was on the Blue Jays. Yeah, Matt Chapman had come over from Oakland. He was pretty solid with the Jays. Very good defender. Fastball misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Offensively, well, you got to tip your hat to him this year, as Chapman has had himself a decent year. His average has been picking up. Certainly his home run pop and power has been solid for the Giants. Fastball swung on, grounded over to first. Smith fields it. He flips it to Hedgelli, who's covering first, and that is going to retire Merrill on a ground out 3-1. So 2 in the books quickly here for the Padres. That's going to bring up the first baseman Gavin Sheets. And for Gavin Sheets, he has been a major run producer tonight here for the Padres. He has driven in 4 of the 5 runs. He had a 2-run triple in the first and a 2-run single in the fifth. As the pitch is on the way, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Certainly the most difficult part of the cycle is the triple. And a player like Gavin Sheets, if there was ever an opportunity for something like that, this could be an opportunity for a double or a home run, as he takes a called strike for. Now the count goes to 0-2. We would know by the end of this at bat if he even has a chance, because possibility is he might get another at bat before the end of the game. So here comes the 0-2 pitch, and there's a breaking ball down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just as a note, if we're probably not going to be on the call this weekend for any of the NPB stuff, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us. Just our schedule is just really, really tight. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded to first, flipped over to the pitcher covering again, and it goes the same way as the last out, a ground out 3-1. To retire Sheets for the third out of the inning, and the Padres go quietly here in their half of the seventh. This game's really skipping along. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom half of inning number 7. Your score is the Padres 5 and the Giants 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It is 5-3 for the Padres. It is Last Raps Baseball's old school radio broadcast. We'll come back in just a moment with all the action after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Willie Adames, Daniel Johnson, and Patrick Bailey to come to bat here in the 7th inning, as Nick Pivetta has been pretty solid here tonight for the Padres. They only blemished that 2-run homer in the last inning, as the first pitch breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Adames. Only 74 pitches through 6 innings for the Padres right-hander. He has been able to keep the Giants at bay, as the 1-0 pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0. As I said, I have to say tonight, in this series period, the umpiring has been a little bit dicey. Lots of pitches that would be, I would say, too close not to be called strikes. There's a fastball, and that probably wouldn't go into that category, but it's 3-0 now to Adames. It is Daniel Johnson who waits his turn on deck, and then Patrick Bailey to follow here in the 7th inning. As the right-hander Pivetta holds set, now delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 3-1 on Adames. I did see that Bauer has, I would say, beaten them, but certainly it is all over. I guess this accuser has to pay $360,000. So that fastball misses down. It's going to be ball 4. Adames is going to be aboard with a leadoff walker to start the 7th. That's going to bring up Daniel Johnson to the plate. Yeah, so certainly in that particular case, I saw that his agent had produced or had put something forward. So we'll have to see. Allrail says, I hope he gets another chance. Yeah, he's getting a little long in the tooth, as we do have a conference on the mound out here, as the pitching coach for the Padres is out to have a few words with Pivetta. I think that should he get the opportunity? Yeah, but I also start to see that maybe for the first time in Bauer's career, he is on the decline a little bit. When you look at his numbers compared to 2 years ago in the NPB, even his fastball's down a little bit. I remember when he took the number 96 2 years ago, he said he wanted that to be his average fastball. Well, he might want to change that number to 93 because I don't think his average fastball is anywhere near 96. I think it's a big deal when he touches 96 these days. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. As the right-hander Pivetta works himself into the set position. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Johnson. Johnson in his Giants and season debut tonight, 1 for 2. He's got a single and a stolen base. He also scored the first run for the Giants back in inning number 5. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. Count now goes to 0-2. We were mentioning earlier that tonight they've got 34 players now have appeared in a Giant uniform this year. Only the Phillies have had less. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Coming in to get it is Merrill, and stopping at first is Johnson. So that's a shot in the arm here for the Giants with a couple of hits from their new right fielder tonight. So 2 for 3 on the evening for Johnson. It'll bring Patrick Bailey to the plate. So Bailey 1 for 2 on this one. He's got a double, an RBI, and a ground out. And that is going to be the end of the night. As Pivetta's night is going to be over, they're going to be going to the bullpen, as it looks like it is going to be Adam who's going to be coming in. We'll get you the specs on him when we return in just a couple of moments. We'll keep you entertained with our good friend Steve Rademacher. We have a pitching change, so where are you going? Make sure you sit back down. We'll be right back. Grab a beer like our friend Steve does. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change as the Padres are going to the bullpen. It is going to be Jason Adam, the much-traveled right-handed reliever. He probably had his breakout of his career with the Tampa Bay Rays. Began his major league career with the Kansas City Royals back in 2018. Then he spent a season with the Blue Jays in Toronto, then followed that up with a couple of years with the Cubbies. And then it was Tampa Bay where everything seemed to come together for him. He was there for 2.5 seasons. Last year, he came to the Padres late And he is right now 5-1 on the year. He's making his 31st appearance. He's worked 30 innings. He's allowed 16 hits, 7 runs, 4 of which have been earned. And he has got himself a whip at 1.03 and an ERA of 1.20. So that is where he stands. So Jason Adam on in relief. He just seems to be like a fine wine. He gets better with age, does the 33-year-old right-hander who will be 34 in the month of August. So Adam on in relief, and he's going to be facing Patrick Bailey with 2 on and nobody out. So in a very difficult situation, as the first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Patrick Bailey. Bailey, the switch hitter, batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Adam as he checks the runner. Adames at second now delivers. Breaking ball misses outside. The count goes to 1-1. Giants fell behind 5-0, but have been able to claw back in each of the last 2 innings. They got a run in the 5th, they got 2 in the 6th, and they've got 2 on and nobody out here in the 7th. As the right-hander holds set, checks Adames at second, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away right into the catcher, Diaz. It looks like it's still Diaz back there. Martin Maldonado came in late the other night. Haven't seen an official announcement if that is the case or not. They do have a change at shortstop, as it is going to be Jose Iglesias is in for Xander Bogaerts. There's a changeup that misses down in the dirt. Count now goes to 2-2. And Iglesias will slide into the spot in the batting order for Bogaerts. No reason why. We haven't heard if there is a injury or not. But Iglesias, who was flashing the leather on Monday night in the game that we were watching, he is on as the defensive replacement here. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Bailey didn't like it. And he is letting the home plate umpire, John Bacon, know if there's somebody who's going to know the strike zone, it's going to be the catchers. But he stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched that one go by for out number 1. I'll bring up the second baseman and Tyler Fitzgerald. Friend Joe says he misses Iglesias on the Mets. He had a great run with the Mets. He was the heartbeat of that team. Here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul past the bag at third base. Count is 0-1 to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to right and popped to first in his 2 trips to the plate. As the right-hander works to the set, now he kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses outside. The count now goes to 1-1. There are some players that are just classic short armers, and that would be Adam here on the mound. Jason Adam, he just pulls back and lets it rip. Really doesn't create any whip in the arm. Here comes the pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and it's tap foul over on the third base side. So Fitzgerald's tapping them in different directions. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is to the second baseman of the Giants. Fitzgerald waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering from the right-hander, who leans in and gets the sign as he works himself set. A pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Coming hard as Tatis. He slides. He's not going to be able to make the catch. And that is going to advance Adames over to third. It's going to advance Johnson to second. It's going to load the bases here. He had raced in there trying to make the backhand play. We're going to look at it on the replay. He ends up short hopping the ball. It's going to be a single for Fitzgerald, and they got something brewing here. Do the Giants in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They've got the bases loaded with 1 out, and that's going to bring the top of the order and Helio Ramos to the plate. Well, for Ramos, 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out, he's flown out, and he's struck out. Now the right-hander Adam has stepped off the mound. Apparently he can't hear the pitch comm. It looks like he's been charged with a step-off from the home plate umpire. So here comes the offering to the a leadoff hitter, Ramos. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So Giants have an opportunity here to get back into this one here, down by 2. Bases loaded and 1 gone here in the bottom half of inning number 7. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into left field. This ball is going to get down and off the wall. It's going to be extra bases. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. We're tied. And racing back in is the shortstop Iglesias, a 2-run double off the bat of Ramos. We are all locked up at 5s. Willie Adames comes in to score, as does Daniel Johnson. Stopping at third is Fitzgerald. All of those runs are going to get charged to Pivetta. Fortunately for Pivetta, a great start that was wasted. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Jung-Hoo Lee. So with Lee coming to bat here, he's 2 for 3 tonight. He has doubled twice and scored a run. He's got an opportunity to turn the tables here for the Giants. Looked like it was going to be all Padres tonight. That early 5-0 lead. As we do have a visit to the mound here from the pitching coach of the Padres. So all locked up at 5s here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lee coming to bat, 2 for 3 tonight, as we'd mentioned. Getting a chance to be able to put another run across. The Padres have pulled the infield in. The outfield is playing shallow. With the 2 hits tonight, Lee has raised his season average to 274. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep right center field. That's going to get the run in. Merrill underneath it. He makes the catch. The throw's coming into third. And sliding in safely is going to be Helio Ramos. But a sacrifice fly off the bat of Lee. That's going to be his 32nd RBI of the year. That's going to put the Giants out in front as Fitzgerald comes in to score, and your score is now 6-5 for San Francisco. Joe says, when are we going to call a Mets game? Kind of looking to do one, Joe, when Kodai Senga is on the mound. That would be the one that I'd be very interested in watching. Just has to match with my time. And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So the Mets are on the radar. It's just that I haven't been able to get a match for a dance. We've happened to do some of these ones here. The Padres and the Giants. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Wilmer Flores. Sometimes the game doesn't tell the full picture. As we said, Pivetta had a great start tonight. Oh, there's a breaking ball that misses up and behind the head of the batter Adames. That's 2 balls and 1 strike. That one got away from the right-hander. So 2-1 here to Flores. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on, and it's tapped foul over on the third baseline. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Troy is in the house tonight. We welcome you into the stream. Haven't seen you in a bit, but glad you can make it in. He's a Arizona Diamondback fan. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field down the line. Giving chase, it is going to drop in foul territory just out of the reach of Fernando Tatis Jr. And 2-2 it is to Flores. It was Jackson Merrill who was on the mound tonight for the Diamondbacks. I believe he had a no-hitter into the 6th. So that is going to bring a count to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Flores as he bats here with 2 gone and a runner at third here in the bottom half of inning number 7. There is action in the Giant bullpen as it looks like Rogers is up and throwing. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Similar spot, giving chase is Sheets. This time it's going to land in the netting out of the reach of Sheets and Tatis Jr. And it keeps the count at 2-2 Troy says the Diamondbacks have taken the first 2 from the Braves. I think Chris Sale was on the mound tonight, and so anytime you can get a win against the former Cy Young Award winner, that's a good day at the office. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 3-2 to Flores. Friend Gracie Lynn in the house. We were wondering when you were going to check in, Gracie. We sent you a message earlier today, said, hey, we're going to do the one here tonight. Bit of a late addition to the programming schedule. There's a pitch. It's a breaking ball missing down and away. And Flores is going to be aboard with a walk. That's going to put runners at the corners with 2 gone, and it's going to bring Matt Chapman to the plate. So Jason Adam has come in and not been very effective here tonight. Well, Chapman, with the home run his last time up, hit the 2-run shot in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's also lined to right and grounded to short. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed, the count is 0-1. Chapman entered the game 9 for 20 over his last 6. So he's now 10 for 23. As the right hand, Gracie Lynn is putting her hand up to do the Discord. That'd be kind of cool. As there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-1. I actually have a Discord, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not really A, good at it, and B, don't really know a whole lot about it. It was something I never really got into. We looked at Twitch and did some stuff on Twitch, but not so much there. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Chapman. Instagram we don't really use for much anything other than just some communication on the back end. We don't do any promotion on Instagram. Nothing along those lines. Even for our regular business. As the right-hander Adam works himself to the set. And here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into center field, moving over underneath it. With room to make the catch is Merrill, and that is going to do it. But the Padres, who had jumped out to a 5-0 lead in this game, now find themselves in a 1-run deficit. For the Giants, in their half of the 7th inning, they had 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the San Francisco Giants 6 and the San Diego Padres 5. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. We appreciate you for listening in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Jose Iglesias, Jake Cronenworth, and Brandon Lockridge to come to bat here in the 8th inning. As we were saying, the wrap-up to this series will be tomorrow between these 2 ball clubs. Dylan Cease will be taking on Robbie Ray. And the first pitch from Rogers is delivered, and it's swung on and fouled away. Pitching change here as Tyler Rogers is come on in relief of Sean Higeli, the side-winding right-hander. is making his 30th appearance of the year. He's got a record of 2-2. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-2 here to Iglesias. 27 and third innings for the right-hander. He's allowed 17 hits on the season. 5 runs all been earned, walking 3 and striking out 26. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. I say fastball loosely sometimes with this right-hander on the mound. He is in his 7th season with the Giants. That's something you don't see all the time as a reliever that really stays a long time with one club. As there's a fastball swung on, is chopped over to Rogers. He tries to field it. He plays basketball with it, and then he slaps it to Dominic Smith on the bag at first, and they're going to be able to retire Iglesias. We're going to see if Mike Schilt wants to take a look at that one, but boy, oh boy. Let's see that one again. It was chopped into the ground. He tried to field it with the glove. He ends up dropping it, and then he slaps it over to the Dominic Smith over at first. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3. I don't think there's anything to look at because I don't believe Iglesias would have beat it out. He was out by a half step. In fact, I don't even know if he hit the base. But they do have a visit out to the mound here to check on him. The trainer is out. I don't know if it's pitching coach is out. Bob Melvin is out. Everybody's out there. And that conference is over, so no trip to the mound charged. Back to Gracie Lynn. I do have a Discord, or we do have a server on there. I'm not really sure how that would be able to do that, but I can take a look after the game. Joe Mansman said the Padres are still making their fans wait for a World Series. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Jake Cronenworth. Cronenworth, 1 for 2 and a walk. As he bats from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Rogers. Pitch on the way is a changeup that misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. Cronenworth, 1 for 2 tonight. He has a single and 2 trips. He's also drawn a walk. As the right-hander Rogers ready to deliver again. There's a changeup missing outside. It's now 2-1. Gracie Lynn said, what are your thoughts on the Rockies sweeping the Marlins? Yeah, we saw that earlier. 3 straight. I guess they need to play them more often. They want to improve their record. They're now at 12 wins. Quarter of their season wins have come in the last 3 days. There's a ground ball hit past the glove of the shortstop Adames. It's going to get into left field. Cronenworth's going to get his 2nd hit of the game. 3rd time he's reached base. A 1-out single, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Brandon Lockridge. Friend Joe says, what do you think of Dominic Smith with the Giants now? Well, I'll tell you what I think. After we announced the pinch hitter in Tyler Wade, Dominic Smith, obviously making his season debut, was signed off the scrap heap from the New York Yankees. So they have to think that he's going to get some opportunity to give him some production. There is a changeup taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Wade. We were talking about Bryce Eldridge the other night? Eldridge, who is the top prospect for the Giants. He got promoted to AAA this week. And there's a breaking ball swung on, is chopped over to third. Chapman underhand flips it to second for 1. Back to first, and it's not in time. And that is going to retire Cronenworth on a fielder's choice, 5-4. He's gone for the 2nd out. Wade safe at first on the back end. And it's supposed to bring up the catcher, Elias Diaz. Gracie Lynn says Darnell Nurse with a winning goal for the Oilers. Sounds like an overtime goal. So Diaz coming to bat. He's 1 for 3. As the right-hander Rogers delivers, there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Diaz has singled, struck out looking, and flown to center in his 3 trips. I haven't really paid much attention to the Stanley Cup Finals. Hard to get excited about hockey in June. Fastball misses upstairs. The count is 2-0. I tell parents often here, they say, oh, my kid's playing spring hockey. I go, not even the Canucks play in Vancouver in the spring. Why is your kid playing spring hockey and not baseball? As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that Diaz checks his swing on, but he can't hold up, and the count now goes to 2-1. Darnell Nurse, that family is quite the athletic family. They are related to Donovan McNabb, the former quarterback of the Eagles. I believe that is the uncle to Darnell Nurse. As there's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. Gracie Lynn giving us her super regionals. I just want to know who's going to wear the glass slipper going to Omaha. Is it going to be a UTSA? Are they going to get through UCLA? Will it be Murray State? It'd be great to see one of those two just get there. As here comes the pitch from the right-hander as he delivers it as a breaking ball, waved out and missed. Diaz looked confused. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in the eighth for the Padres. No runs in the inning. They did get a hit. There were no errors, and there was a one-runner left aboard. Moving to the bottom of the eighth inning, your score is the Giants 6 and the Padres 5. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this timeout. Six 5, the Giants have the lead. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that the Giants are coming to bat here in the eighth inning. It'll be Dom Smith, Willie Adames, and Daniel Johnson to come to bat here to face the Padres in this half inning. Our friend Gracie Lynn says they just took the goal away from Nurse and gave it to Draisaitl. There you go. The German forward for the Edmonton Oilers getting himself a goal. We do have a pitching change as it's going to be the left-hander Wandy Peralta entering the fray. He is 2-0 on the year, making his 26th appearance for the Padres. He's worked 26 in the third innings, pitching to an ERA of 4.10. So the former Yankee on the hill here. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on, lined right to the glove of the first baseman, Sheets. And that is going to retire Smith with one swing of the bat. He hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of the first baseman. So one away here, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Willie Adames. For Adames, he is 0 for 2. And he has also drawn a walk and scored a run as he takes a fastball inside for a ball. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 1-1. That caught the outside corner. Gracie Lynn says Dominic Smith on the Giants is just weird. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. Yeah, you got to look at a guy like Dominic Smith and think that there's a possibility that he would probably be on his way to Japan as his next stop if this doesn't work out. There's a fastball missing up as 2-2. He's still 29 years old, but you'd think that he might want to get himself a couple extra paydays as that breaking ball misses down. It's now 3-2. Japan or Korea or maybe even probably not the Chinese Professional League. They don't pay as well. Here's the 3-2. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. Moving over underneath it and with room to make the catch is the left fielder, Tyler Wade, who's come in for Lockridge, and that is going to retire Adames for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Daniel Johnson. Friend Troy says the D-backs will beat up on the Braves, and those Mets can beat up on the Doyers. Even Joe says Japan or Korea. Well, Daniel Johnson, who is making his first appearance for the Giants here tonight, takes a fastball upstairs for a called strike. Johnson 2 for 3 tonight. Couple of runs scored, has stolen a base and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. As now Johnson has taken one of the offensive timeouts as he steps out. As the lefty Peralta delivers, there's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Lefty Peralta kicks and delivers again. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side of home plate. The count remains at 1-2. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order for the Padres with Tatis, Arias, and Machado to come to bat. As the lefty Peralta delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to second. They're going to have to hurry. Johnson gets down the line well, and that is going to do it. A nice play there by the second baseman of the Padres, Jake Cronenworth. Ground out 4-3 here to end the inning. And that is going to do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the 9th inning, it is a 6-5 ball game for the Giants. We'll be back in just a couple months to see if they can close it out. Looks like it's Ryan Walker coming in, but we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat in just a moment for the Padres. It is a 6-5 lead as the Giants are clinging to a lead here, looking to close it out. They have scored 6 unanswered runs, and it is going to be the final showdown here, potentially in the top of the 9th. We'll be back in just a moment after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change, as it is going to be Ryan Walker coming on in relief. Walker, the 6'2" right-hander, looking to try to close this one out. He's got 10 saves on the year. Got himself a record of 1-3. This is his 26th appearance. He has worked 22 innings, allowing 19 hits. He's given up 13 runs. 11 have been earned, walking 7 and striking out 20. He has a bit of a rough ERA at 4.5. But Walker is the one here trying to close out the Padres. And so Fernando Tatis Jr. stepping in, who's 2 for 4 tonight. There's a fastball that backs him off the plate, and the count is quickly 1-0. Tatis, a single, a double. He scored a couple of runs. He's also flown to center and popped to second. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there's a fastball at 95 at the knees. And the count now is even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander delivers again. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's now 2-1 to Tatis. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Gracie Lynn says she never wants somebody to blow a lead, but Like the Padres to get back in it. Well, they've got the start here. There's a line drive into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Tatis's third hit of the night is he's got himself a single. That's going to bring up the designated hitter into Luis Arias. And for Arias, well, he is 1 for 4. He's got a single and 4 trips. 1 for 4 it is here as the right-hander Walker works to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Arias batting from the left side here against the right-hander who holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Arias. Arias had a bunt single in the 5th inning, and he came around to score the 4th run of the game for the Padres. He is 1 for 4 tonight. And certainly in this situation here, it's going to be very, very, very challenging for the closer Walker to try to seal the deal here. He's got the toughest part of the batting order to face still to come. And he throws over to first, and diving back in time is Fernando Tatis Jr. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, popped up foul. It's going to reach the seats on the third base side of home plate. The count remains at 0-2 to Arias. There's more action in the bullpen. I would have thought they might have went to Rodriguez. It's Randy Rodriguez who's up and throwing. Not wasting any time. He's had a great year this year. Why they wouldn't have brought him in to begin with, I don't know. But there's a fastball missing outside. It's 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Padres batting here in the top of the 9th inning, down by a run. There's a fastball swung on, and it's hammered foul down the right field line. Count remains at 1-2 to Arias. Ball dude making his appearance as he had to go and pick that one out. Other than that ball that almost took off the head of the ball dude on the right field line tonight, it's been pretty quiet for those fellas. As the right-hander Walker holds to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. This ball could be trouble. Racing back is Johnson. Oh, he makes a great over-the-shoulder catch. And that is going to cause Tatis to have to retreat to first base. Oh, my goodness. Johnson got on his horse and hauled that one in. He doesn't make that grab. That is definitely extra bases, and Tatis would easily score from first. Phenomenal defensive play there by the new Giants right fielder. If they win the game tonight, you got to think that he'd be a candidate for player of the game. Retreating back to first is Tatis, and that is going to bring Manny Machado to the plate. And the first pitch on the way to Machado, a breaking ball that misses down for a ball. Count is 1-0. Now that is a fantastic play there by the new Giants right fielder. Machado 0 for 3, walked and scored a run in the first. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into no man's land in left field, racing out and coming in. And the ball has been hit. It hits Ramos, and it lands fair, and it goes off of the wall. Unbelievable. So Ramos is coming in. The shortstop, Adames, going out. They almost collide. The ball is missed by Ramos. It ends up landing off of him and kicking off the wall in left field. It allows Tatis to reach second. He had thoughts about going to third. They're going to rule that a base hit. I'm not so sure why. I guess maybe it is ordinary effort. Ramos, to avoid contact with Adames, lost his footing and he slipped. Hits off his glove. It's going to be scored a single for Machado. Advancing to second is Tatis. That should be 2 out here in the inning. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So unbelievable. Jackson Merrill coming to the plate with 1 gone here. And it's going to be Randy Rodriguez to come in relief when we return. Your score right now, 6-5 for the Giants. They're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. We'll be right back after this from our good friend, Steve. Where are you, Steve? Oh, here he is.
Hello, everybody. Steve Rodmacher coming back at you again. And during this pitching change, for a change of pace, let's open some baseball cards. We'll get through these quickly. 2023 Topps Big League. We have rookie card of Tyler Freeman to go along with a Matt Chapman. And why not a Jake Cronenworth? Shoot 'em, Jake! We do have a rookie card of Brett Beatty. That's pretty cool. To go along with the uncommon Carlos Correa. Pretty common to me, but what do I know? Trey Mancini to go along with a rookie of Kodai Senga. Freddie, tell them about Kodai. And one of my favorites, Devin Williams of my Milwaukee Brewers. All right, looks like the pitcher's coming in. Freddie, you can take over now.
Appreciate you there, Steve. It is going to be Randy Rodriguez coming on in relief here of Ryan Walker. So Rodriguez being brought in a tough situation as he's going to have to try to close this one out. The 25-year-old right-hander is really enjoying a nice season this year. He's got a 3-0 record. In 25 games, he has worked 26 2/3 innings. And he has allowed on the season only to this point 14 hits. A couple of runs, both have been earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 38, pitching to a 0.68 ERA. Well, here comes the first offering to Jackson Merrill, and the first pitch on the way is a changeup that is swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1 to Merrill. Merrill officially 1 for 4 today. He's got a double in 4 trips. He's also reached on an error. He's driven in a run and scored a run. As the right-hander Rodriguez kicks and fires, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count now goes to 0-2. Joe Mansman says Griffin Canning 6 scoreless innings against the Dodgers. And the Mets are up 3-0. Wow. Here's the pitch from Rodriguez. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Merrill's in the books on strikes for the second out of the inning. Oh, boy, man against boys, as Randy Rodriguez has been just electric. That ball fell right off the table with a slider, hard slider. Merrill in the books for out number 2, and it's going to bring up Gavin Sheets to the plate. If you want somebody at the plate, if you're San Diego, this would be the guy. Sheets has driven in 4 of the 5 Padre runs tonight. As the right-hander Rodriguez delivers, there's a breaking ball that back Sheets off the plate, and the count is quickly 1-0. Sheets tripled home a pair of runs in the first inning, singled home a pair more in the 5th. 2 for 4 in this one. As the right-hander Rodriguez kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes even to 1-1. But in that last delivery, both Tatis and Machado have stolen a base. So now you've got runners second and third. Very interesting. So 2 runners now in scoring position. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's popped up. It's playable. It's on the left side. Matt Chapman underneath it. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it, as the Giants are going to come from behind to win this one here tonight, as they will get one back here in the series. There was, in the half inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left the board. Your final score is the Giants 6 and the Padres 5. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back to wrap this up for you in just a moment. We appreciate all of you for listening in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We do know baseball, and we've got a roundup of this one here, and then we'll go around Major League Baseball and give you all the finals after this. The Padres jumped out to a 5-0 lead in this game. All 5 of the runs came in the first 5 innings. In the first inning, a leadoff double by Fernando Tatis, and with 1 out, Manny Machado walked. And then with 2 out, up stepped Gavin Sheets, and he had a 2-run triple to bring home Tatis and Machado to give the Padres an early 2-0 lead. Padres added to their lead in the 5th inning when again Tatis got things going with a leadoff single. Then Luis Arias bunted his way on that put runners at first and second. Manny Machado then struck out, and then Jackson Merrill double homed the 3rd Padre run. And then Gavin Cheats again stepped up, and he had a single bringing home both Arias and Merrill to give the Padres a 5-0 lead. And it looked like they were cruising. And then that's where the Giants offense woke up. In the 5th inning with 2 out, a single by Daniel Johnson. He stole second. And up stepped Patrick Bailey. He doubled Johnson home with the first Giants run of the game. In the 6th inning with 1 out, Jung-Hoo Lee doubled. And then with 2 out, Matt Chapman hit a 2-run bomb to left field. It was a wall scraper, as it was a front row blast, as that made the score 5-3. And then the Giants put an end to it with 3 runs in the 7th inning. A leadoff walk to Willy Adames, a single by Daniel Johnson. After Patrick Bailey struck out looking, Fitzgerald singled. And then up stepped Helio Ramos, and he doubled home a pair of runs. And then Jung-Hoo Lee sacrificed home the 3rd run of the inning to give the Giants a 6-5 lead. Your final score, the Giants 6 and the Padres 5. The win is going to go here in relief to Sean Higgelli, who is excellent. One of the latest recalls by the Giants. He goes to 1-0 on the year. Randy Rodriguez picks up the save. That is his first. Amazing. He came in to replace Ryan Walker. Jason Adam takes the loss. He goes to 5-2 on the year. Our friend Nick said, great game and great to listen. We appreciate him for being there. Gracie Lynn, thank you for popping in tonight as well. Joe, everybody else. We're going to give you the quick rundown from around Major League Baseball, as there are a lot of finals and there are still 3 games, or actually 4 games still going on. First of all, we'll begin with the Rockies with their 3rd win in a row over the Marlins. They win 3-2 behind Kyle Freeland. Freeland's 1-8. Quantrill falls to 3-6. Kinley the save. 3-6-1 for the Rocks. 2-5-0 for the Marlins. Brewers knock off the Reds 9-1. 9-13-0 for the Brew Crew. 1-4-1 for the Reds. Quinn Priester gets the win. He goes to 3-2. Andrew Abbott the loss. He's 5-1. Red Sox knock off the Angels 11-9, 11-12-1 for Boston, 9-12-2 for the Angels. Cooper Criswell the win in relief. He's 1-0. Brock Burke suffers the loss. He goes to 4-1. Pirates knock off the Astros 3-0, 3-8-0 for the Pirates, 0-7-0 for the Stros. Burrows gets his first win of the year. Gusto takes the loss for the Stros. Bednar gets his 7th save. Nationals shut out the Cubs 2-0 behind Mackenzie Gore. 2-4-0 for the Nats, 0-5-0 for the Cubs. Gore with a win. Boyd the loss. Gore's 3-5. Boyd is 5-3. Finnegan with his 17th save of the year. Guardians knock off the Yankees 4-0. 4-12-1 for the Guardians. Yankees 0-5-0. Ortiz the win in relief. Ortiz gets the win for the Guardians. He is 3-6. Schmidt takes the loss. He drops to 2-3. Phillies fall to the Blue Jays in Toronto. It was a bottom of the 9th inning victory for the Jays. Hoffman gets the win. He's 5-2. Jordan Romano, the former Blue Jay closer, he suffers the loss in that one. 2-5-0 for the Jays, 1-5-0 for the Phillies. Diamondbacks get a victory tonight over the Braves. 2-5-0 for the Braves, 2-5-0 for the D-backs, 1-3-0 for the Braves. Merrill Kelly had a no-hitter into the 6th inning for the Diamondbacks. He gets the win. He's 6-2. It is Chris Sale taking the loss. He's 3-4. Martinez gets the save, his 5th of the year for the Snakes. Rays beat the Rangers 5-4. 5-8-2 for the Rays. 4-8-0 for the Rangers. Shane Baz gets the win. Kumar Rocker the loss. He's 1-4. Pete Fairbanks gets the save, his 11th of the year. Tigers have just beaten the White Sox. They scored 4 in the first of the Tigers, and they had to come from behind as the White Sox were able to claw back to tie it. 5-10-1 for the Tigers, 4-7-0 for the Chi Sox. Win goes to Will Vest. He is now 5-0 for the Tigers. Eisert takes the loss. He's 2-1. Tommy Kahnle gets his 8th save for Detroit. Other games currently underway. Orioles in the bottom of the 9th inning have a 3-2 lead over the Mariners. 3-4-0 for the O's, 2-4-0 for the M's in that one. It is the toughest part of the batting order to come to bat to face Felix Bautista, as Julio Rodriguez will get things going to lead it off in the bottom of the 9th. Twins have a 5-1 lead over the Athletics in the bottom of the 8th. 5-7-0 for the Twinkies. 1-5-1 for the A's. It is the bottom of the 8th inning with nobody out, with one out and nobody on at that point for the Athletics. And as our good friend Joe Mansman was keeping it up for us, 3-3-0 for the Mets. In the bottom of the 7th, 0-3-1 for the Dodgers. It is a 3-0 lead. Griffin Canning is now out of the game. He pitched really well. Castillo now in pitching for the Mets. All right, everybody. Well, once again, whether it be Troy, Nick, Joe, everybody else was in here. Our friend Gracie Lynch said she watched that Red Sox game. Crazy, ridiculous walk-off home run you'll ever see. She says, when's your next reasonably timed stream? Well, this is where things will start to get a little crazy. I don't know if we're going to have a day off for the next month. So it is going to have to be almost on a day-to-day type schedule. It is the hot and heavy portion of the baseball season here. Our camps get going next month. It is going to be a 7-day-a-week gig. So we are going to do some late-night stuff. We are going to have to check our schedule. This weekend, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything late night, although we may try to squeeze a Trevor Bauer start in if he goes Friday in Japan, which means a late night call tomorrow night. The rest of it, we'll look at the schedule, see what works for us and works for everything else. We may try to get one tomorrow because in the daytime, certainly in the morning, we'll have to look at the starting pitchers. It does look like it could be Diamondbacks, Braves. We might be able to do that at 9:15 Pacific. Get that out of the way, and then we can get on with our day. Other option could be the Tigers and the White Sox, but I don't know if I could stomach watching Chicago play. So there could be a chance. D-backs, Braves tomorrow. That'll be a last-minute decision. Could come around 8 o'clock Pacific or 11 Eastern. Be sure to check in if we add that to the slate. All right, everybody. Have yourself a great night. Troy, Gracie, Lynn, everybody else. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a slice. Enjoy doing these games. Enjoy doing the NPB late night as well. Have a good one, everybody. We will catch you tomorrow. Have a great night. And yeah, we do have a Discord, Gracie Lynn, so check it out. Shoot me a message, and I'll see if we can make something work. Have a great night, everybody.